Prime Minister Anthony Albanese recently announced that Australia will move to recognise a state of Palestine at the next United Nations General Assembly in September, alongside the United Kingdom, France and Canada, with the condition that terror group Hamas play no role in its future governance. Forgetting about the logistics of how one makes sure that Hamas has no role to play, which I'm sure Hamas will not agree with, how many people actually applauded the Prime Minister's decision? Well, it's not as many as you'd think. Naturally, Senator Fatima Payman, who last year famously defied her party and voted with the Greens, calling for the recognition of Palestinian statehood, resulting in her indefinite suspension and later her resignation from the Labor Party, was of course happy with the PM's decision. She said, "It feels so amazing to have joined every single Australian who put pressure on the government and wanted them to do what's right by the Palestinian people, to be on the right side of history." The so-called Labor Friends of Palestine group were also pleased with the result, with The Guardian reporting, "Labor Friends of Palestine applaud Albanese's move to recognise statehood." But apart from that, it's hard to find too many others who agreed with this decision. Understandably, Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, was displeased, calling Australia delusional for thinking Palestinian recognition would bring about peace. He said, "To have European countries and Australia march into that rabbit hole just like that, fall right into it, I think it's actually shameful. It's not going to change our position. We'll not commit national suicide to get a good op-ed for 2 minutes. We won't do that." Although Albanese hit back, with the ABC reporting, Albanese takes swipe at in-denial Israeli Prime Minister. However, the ABC also admits that there is significant disagreement in the community about Palestinian recognition, reporting, "Community divided over Australia's move to recognise Palestinian state." Alex Rivkin, co-CEO of the Executive Council of Australian Jewry, said the Jewish community was disappointed with the decision. He said, "Australia is now committed to recognising a state with no agreed borders, no single government in effective control of its territory, and no capacity to live in peace with its neighbours." Mr Albanese's announcement was even dismissed by the Australia-Palestine Advocacy Network. President of the group, Nasser Mashni, said, "Recognition is completely meaningless while Australia continues to trade, to supply arms, to have diplomatic relations, and to diplomatically protect and encourage other states to normalise relations with the very state that is committing these atrocities. Palestinian rights are not to be gifted by Western states. They are not dependent on negotiation with or behaviour or approval of their colonial oppressors." Pro-Palestinian protesters near the secretive Pine Gap, a joint Australian-US defence facility in the Northern Territory, were also not pleased with the PM's announcement, with the ABC reporting, "Pine Gap protesters reject Prime Minister's recognition of Palestine, labelling it performative." Specifically, the group said, "Recognising Palestine does nothing to advance Palestinian liberation or bring this genocide closer to ending. The machinery of war on Oriente country supports the Israeli military as it bombs hospitals, murders journalists, starves children and civilians, and erases entire neighbourhoods." Palestinians living in Australia are worried that the move is merely symbolic and won't lead to actual change, with SBS reporting, "A distraction. Palestinians in Australia say statehood recognition isn't enough." They also highlight specific public polling showing a divided public, with one poll finding that while 45% of Australians support recognising a Palestinian state, a significant portion remain opposed or unsure. Unsurprisingly, support is highest among younger Australians. The coalition are, of course, against the proposal, with the ABC reporting, "Coalition vows to revoke Australia's recognition of a Palestinian state." In a statement, the coalition said, The coalition would have never made this call and we do not agree with it. Perhaps the Prime Minister thought he was doing a good thing when he made this announcement and would be supported widely across the community, but as it turns out, he's being attacked from all sides. This move has pretty much failed to satisfy anyone and has only highlighted the deep divisions on this issue in Australia.